Sitting here with Nick Alley, coming off the biggest win of your career. Beat John Gotti III, the unanimous decision. It was a pretty clear-cut victory. Tell us how you're feeling right now.
I feel great. The excitement has already gone away. It's been over a week and a half, so I'm really just back to training. It's in the past now, so I'm trying not to look at it. I reviewed it. I know the things that I want to change about it. So now it's just building for whatever's next.
Any injuries you're coming out of that with, or are you feeling good?
No. He got a good kick at the end of the third round on my lead leg, and it locked my calf up for a couple days. But other than that, no, I'm ready. I'm good. I went running on Friday morning after the fight. So.
Now you were booked to fight on Premier FC in October.
Yeah. Yep.
Marcus Davis.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you were training for that camp. Did you ever take any time off between the camps, or did it kind of flow nicely into?
No, it kind of flew back to back. I mean, as soon as while we were actually still getting ready for Premier, I think CES had reached out before they knew, obviously, before it was released that I was fighting. I think they reached out to us to see if we were interested in the Gotti fight anyway. And then a couple weeks went by, Premier ended up following through, and they reached out to us and asked if we were still interested, and we said yeah. It was pretty one right into the other.
So, John Gotti being kind of the CES poster boy, you were probably brought in to lose, and you kind of ruined those plans. You're now 7-3.
Yep.
That looks a lot better than 6-4. If you string another win or two together, where do you see yourself, and kind of what are your plans for the near future?
My immediate future, I'm not sure. We gotta try to have our fingers in everything, touching everything. Sean Rockwell, my manager at Prime, he's trying to make sure that we have a good setup for whatever's next. Because with COVID, nobody really knows what's next. You know what I mean? So the important thing is that I stay ready. My record is, it's definitely 7-3. You're right. It's definitely better than 6-4. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that I need to improve on, you know what I mean? Not just worry about my record. That stuff will come as I get better in just training.
In the Gotti fight, everybody thought you were the jits guy and you got to get it to the ground to submit him, right?
Yeah.
You actually showed some legit stand-up. You did some damage on the feet, and your top pressure on the ground was great.
Yeah.
You controlled him on the mat, but you didn't look for submissions so much. It was pretty much, I'm gonna beat this guy up.
Yeah.
And take it to him. And was that the game plan, or did it just kind of evolve as the fight went on?
The game plan was to be honest with you, was a strike with him. I didn't have any intention of going to the ground. I'm more than comfortable fighting there, obviously. I do a decent amount of stand-up. I really wanted to test myself with somebody that was going to strike. My last couple fights, it was, they kind of just rushed me, and it ended up being a clinch, and it's a bit cliche, but I mean realistically, we don't get paid by the hour. I don't get paid to take damage or have fight of the year, because fight of the year means you're usually it's a back and forth getting the shit kicked out of you. So I'm just trying to finish as quick as I can finish. I only have one speed. It's gas. So I was excited that I had somebody that I knew it was going to be willing to strike. I was able to open up a little bit, but I mean not nearly as much as I'd like to. Realistically, if I had to give myself a performance on the fight, I'm thinking probably it's going to be like a C+, because there's definitely some aspects that I was happy with, but I'm never happy. I'm never satisfied. So.
I think I'd give you an A-. I think you look pretty good. The cardio seemed to be the difference in the fight.
Yeah.
I think we were doing a fight companion, and when Gotti came out in the second round, I said he looks tired and Nick looks fresh.
Yeah.
And second and third round, that was the difference. It was you were ready for a grind. You were ready to take him into deep waters.
Yeah.
And he was in a fight similar to that in his last fight, but you were much more effective. I would assume you got to give a lot of credit to Ed Carr and getting your cardio to where it needed to be.
Yeah, so obviously, Ed's my main coach. So we do all the fight planning, all the strategy, all that stuff. So always, all the credit goes to Ed. My nutritionist plays a huge factor in this too, and I try to give her as much shine as she can, because she really has changed my life and my fighting career. Trisha Cornell, she is the absolute best. She works remotely. She does all of her stuff. I've been working with her since. What was the first fight I think with her? It was after I fought Gary. her and I started to working together, because when I fought Gary, I did it all wrong, and I cut like 28 pounds of water. I was totally sucked out, and my legs were all blown up and shit. It was bad to the point where I knew, I'm like, I can't keep doing this, you know? So I started working with her, and I also work with a strength and conditioning company, as well as we have a strength and conditioning coach that I work with here too, because Sean Gill is the guy, he works here, he does strength and conditioning for a lot of the fighters. Him and I don't have a schedule that really gels all the time, so I also work with Counter-Strike. They do MMA strength and conditioning, just regular strength and conditioning, as well as cardio and off-camp stuff. They do, for people who don't have a nutritionist and a sports psychologist, they offer that feature as well too, so that's really a great company. They've helped me so much. I spent a decent amount of money. I bought a Concept 2 roller for down here. We were lucky enough to find a couple Aerodyne bikes and some good treadmills, so I really make sure that my cardio tries to always be on point, because that's really the only thing you get to control, you know, in a fight is your cardio.
Yeah. So we put out our rankings, our first rankings in the summer. We're going to do another one in January. You were not in the top 10 welterweights.
That's okay.
You were included in the voting, but you were not in the top 10 welterweights.
I shouldn't have been.
Gotti was 5th.
Yeah.
So we're going to put another one in January. Where do you see yourself in those rankings in New England at 170 now?
Honestly, I haven't looked at rankings. I don't know. I don't even know where Gotti's ranked in anything. I don't know where I'm ranked in anything. I don't particularly care about that type of shit. It's just that I want to fight, but like I feel like, you know, ET talks about it. They're like, you can look at the score, but the score is what it is. It ain't going to change just because you looked at it. So I try to. And that's just other people's opinion. You know what I mean? Like that's not. They don't know me. You know, it's a bunch of people. I mean, I've known you guys for years, but you guys don't really get to train with me and see the way that I fight. So a ranking is based on, you know, what my fights were like. And it's going to go up the better I fight, you know what I mean? And yeah, I fought like shit. I had 3 bad fights back to back to back, you know what I mean? So what can I say? I shouldn't be expected to be in the top, you know? And I'm happy that I was able to win against Gotti. And yeah, I think that propels me forward. But at the same time, I mean, I train to win. I don't train to just come out and have a fun time, you know what I mean? So I'm sure it'll rank me higher. I probably still won't look at it, to be honest.
You're 7-3 now. You're on a 4-fight win streak.
Yeah.
Where are we going to see Nick Alley in the next year to 2 years?
It's definitely going to be the UFC. You know, I've been thinking about it a lot. There's obviously a lot of different paths that people can take, but my goal is to be the UFC welterweight champion. It has been. It's what I think about every day. You know what I mean? Like I do visualizations about it on my way to work, on my way home, at the gym. You know, I take time to make sure that I do morning routines and just really try to live that life, even if I'm not living that life yet. You know what I mean? Because that's the only way that I can. That's the only way that I can do it right now. I have a full-time job. I'm training my ass off when I'm not at work. I'm doing everything that I can to make sure that that's the path that happens for me, and it will. So I'm just really excited to get there, but I'm ready to do the hard work and whatever that path is. I don't get to pick the path. I just get to pick how I respond and how I attack it.
Last question. When are we going to see you in the cage next? Do you have a time frame?
Hopefully sooner rather than later, so I don't get fat. Sorry, Trisha. I don't know yet, honestly. We're just, like I said, we kind of have feelers out there for a lot of different things. I'm staying in shape. I'm training. Like I said, I never really took a day off. I had Thursday off. I ate a bunch of donuts. But I woke up at 5:30 before I went to work on Friday, the Friday after my fight, and went for a run. I trained that Saturday, trained Sunday, and I've been training every day this week, so I'm ready for whatever. What's up, guys? It's Nick Alley. We're training down here in Team Lake Hooksett, New Hampshire, with the guys from New England MMA, helping some people get ready for their big fights. Excited, big things in the future. 2021 is going to be a big year for me and the school, so keep your eyes on me.
Can't get better than that, bro.